Okay, I think we got a good picture here kind of now of how things are going to set up as we continue through the evening and overnight hours. Thanks for joining me on this Facebook Live. I'm going to do more of an open dialogue here. Got plenty of time between now and when the storms move in. So go ahead and share this update. Going to be answering any of your questions you may have. It's 8:38 right now. If you want to help support, there's a link on Venmo for there. It's not free. It's not easy to really do this all the time and give you the information that I do. And anything that you guys can send my way, I appreciate it immensely. And I've been doing this for a long, long time here in the Ohio Valley, and being from here, it really helps give a point of view that you may not see from other forecasters and on TV, because that they may be from other markets and things like that. So I really take into consideration of previous events, kind of how the day unfolded, and kind of what we're going into here this evening. So Venmo is on there. If you want to send a donation or anything, really appreciate it. So let's go into the discussion here through this evening. Right now, you're like, Chris, why do you have the radar up in Paducah, Kentucky? Well, that's a good question. And you can see in the St. Louis area, there's a line of damaging winds moving through there. But the data supports that this storm near the Poplar Bluff, Paducah area would ride up the Ohio Valley, the Ohio River, and then move up through maybe the Cincinnati area, and that storm could be rotating, okay? So I just wanted to analyze it here first on Analyzer and just kind of show you what we're looking at here, okay? This is a tornado-warned storm. This is not a storm that is actually on the ground, but this is a tornado-warned storm, quarter-sized tail with it, moving off towards the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. Okay, the data really does show that through the next several hours that this storm continues to rotate and move up the Ohio River. Let me show you. We'll pull up here. This is future radar. This is at 8 o'clock. It's 8:40 now. You can see that it's a little, it's got the idea here of the storm, but more convection around it. You'll get the drift here in just a minute. You'll see that this storm goes just north of Paducah. Okay, this is around 9 o'clock. We advance it further. Moves into the Evansville area around 10. This will move into places like Corydon, Jasper, Tell City around 11. And you can see that little hook to it right there. That tells me that there's still some rotation with it. And then by midnight, it moves up through Scottsburg, Madison, Versailles, VV, Rising Sun area, and then moves out of the area around 1 a.m. The concerning part about this, and why I do think there will be tornado warnings with this, at least in our far western communities, it's because we have a squall line of storms that's out towards St. Louis that will be behind it. So you've got a rotating thunderstorm in front of the main line. And we all know, if you've been following me here forever, that if you have a storm, a singular storm out in front of the main line of storms, that's not good. It can rotate. So as the radar trends, watching them carefully, it looks like things are starting to really get going here. And as the storms move into our area, we do not have a lot of instability. I'll say that right off the bat. I do think the better threat of severe storms will be from, let's say, Madison and points off towards the west. Madison, maybe up through Greensburg and Versailles and points west. East is, in my mind, it's a slight risk enhanced risk for our western sections of the area. The Storm Prediction Center getting a little wild on the threat for severe weather today because, a moderate risk of severe storms to me is considered an outbreak, and seeing destructive winds, widespread wind damage, and some violent large tornadoes. That's not happening with this event. I would have kept it in that slight to enhanced, frame there, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. It is to note, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, I just want to show here, these are the wind gusts that come through tomorrow, and the data really does show some pretty strong wind gusts in the morning. Anything that's blue here is over 45. The darker blue would be 50 to 55 miles per hour. And that area, the National Weather Service does have a high wind warning for the eastern sections of the area. But I do think that there's going to be a time period in the morning, a brief window for about 2 to 3 hours, where I think that a high wind warning could be feasible for pretty much the entire area. So severe threat starts this evening and continues through the early morning hours. Then we transition in the morning when you wake up into a high wind threat, and we'll be seeing the potential for damaging winds. But we're going to focus primarily on the severe weather threat as we go through time here. I just want to show, another idea here. So these are winds a mile above your head, and I'm going to have to back it up here, all right? So this is what we call our low-level jet. You can see that really starts to crank up around 10 o'clock, okay? This is showing just crazy amounts of wind energy. You can see 96 mile per hour a mile above your head. Anything that can get going in this type of wind environment can be very severe. That's why you see that enhanced risk of severe weather here area-wide. 90 mile an hour, not almost 100 mile an hour near Owenton. That's a strong low-level jet. So these storms are going to have plenty of wind energy to work with tonight. The thing that we miss with all of this, and tends to always be the case, is the storm energy. You're looking at that now. You can see by midnight that the storm energy is to our north and west, okay? At 1 a.m., you see that southeastern Indiana has that higher storm energy. Madison, Versailles, Greensburg. And then that window still continues in southeastern Indiana and areas west of I-75. So that area will probably be the best threat for any severe weather tonight, right in here. That's your best threat zone tonight. Not saying that the entire area is out of the severe threat. I'm saying if I wanted to focalize on one point of the area, it would be that. If I wanted to get really picky about it, I'd probably just cut it to, Jennings, Ripley, Dearborn, Ohio, Switzerland, Scott, Jefferson, Trimble, Boone, Gallatin, Carroll, Grant, and Owen counties. So that's going to be the zone where I think we see a tornado potential and we see a damaging wind potential. And you'll see me move my head, and I'm looking at other screens here, watching those storms out to the west. I'm always kind of keeping an eye on how they're forming. And the storm is getting, it's kind of cycling there near Paducah. Actually, I'll show you. Let's go down to that storm. And you can see it's kind of, you see how it has that comma motion. So it's got a lot of shear, a lot of wind energy developing with it. So this is the storm that I just showed on Future Radar just a few minutes ago that will move up through Evansville, Jasper, Corydon, up through Madison, through Cincinnati. That's what the data suggests over the coming hours, okay? And then that's your squall line that'll move in behind that. Not everyone's going to see severe weather tonight. But I'm here and I'm going to keep my eyes on it, okay? So that's the storm energy there that I just showed. Let me go back to the other computer. There we go. And the storm energy and wind energy, okay? So with everything said together, low fuel. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Let's see see what answer you come up with. A low fuel, high shear environment typically ends up with what type of situation here in our area? Let's see if you guys know. Maybe somebody will say something. If not, you can just take a wild guess at it, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. It typically means that it's more of in that slight risk to enhanced risk category. Just seeing here what the Storm Prediction Center is saying, yes, damaging winds, pretty much the primary threat. Blake winds. Okay, so here's the Storm Prediction Center's forecast for tonight. And you'll see, if I was to really draw this would be irrelevant to me. I would have that slight risk, enhanced risk line, kind of like that. Enhanced would be here, and then your slight risk would be there. And yes, I spelled slight wrong. So ignore the moderate risk in my opinion, okay? Even actually probably what makes this a little easier is your better threat for significant wind damage, or this here kind of really shows you my zone of where I think severe will occur overnight tonight. And then that high wind threat moves in towards the morning hours. Just want to check and see if we have anything from the Storm Prediction Center. We do not have anything right now. Actually, they have no MDs out right now. So those are called mesoscale discussions, basically saying, hey, look out. This is kind of the area where the Storm Prediction Center is monitoring there. So back to the radar view we go. You'll see there's that storm that's currently tornado warned right here near Paducah. Okay, and they're extending the tornado warning as it continues. Here's your line, okay? This is what moves in later tonight. This is the big daddy here, if you will, near St. Louis. One thing I'll show you here, okay? Not one of these warnings have, potential for considerable damage, and there's one here near Champaign. This when you see this tonight, if we see any, there's 4 types. I'm going to make this full screen. Each tornado warning, each severe thunderstorm warning has 4 types. Now, you have your regular tornado warning, which means radar is indicated. It's a radar indicated. You have the confirmed tornado warning. You have a considerable tornado warning and a catastrophic tornado emergency. So there's 4 different tornado warnings. This has been around for a while, but I've actually kind of color-coded this now to where we can really point those out. On the right, there's a severe thunderstorm warning legend here with, our typical severe thunderstorm warning, okay, for 60-mile-an-hour winds. There's a new tornado warning polygon for tornado possible. There is a severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds, considerable damage. That is your yellow and red polygon. And then 80-mile-an-hour wind, destructive winds, will be in purple and kind of that light blue color. So those are the new tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning colors that I just wanted to show you. This one here is the one for considerable damage. This means here that a tornado has been observed, okay? And these here mean that they're radar indicated, okay? If it continues to confuse you, I would love to hear your feedback. I'm always open to, suggestions, feedback. If that's too much, I can always, make things different. Wow, look at these storms up here towards Chicago. Let's take a look at that. It looks like they're seeing just some mean storms up there towards Chicago. Let me get the radar up there. Let's see. So when you see this polygon, and I'm glad that I'm able to make this adjustment real quick. This is for destructive winds. Let me switch this full screen. Let me do one more adjustment here. All right, so there you go. So you can see anytime you see this type of polygon near Chicago, they're going to be seeing 90-mile-an-hour winds moving towards Chicago. Wow. If you know anybody in the Chicago area, 90-mile-an-hour winds are moving towards Chicago. Wow. Just now seeing that come through here. Wow. Let's look at this on the radar view here, because that's some insane wind. We've got the radar pulled up here. I'm going to see if we have active scan. So this is a new feature here. We're able to look at the radar view quicker than anyone else, and you'll see updates in real time. And it looks like, boy, that's a very intense line. I'm going to switch that off real quick. Go back to velocity view. I mean, I'm really not seeing anything that screams 90-mile-an-hour wind here. So interesting, the National Weather Service is calling for 90-mile-an-hour wind up there. I know this is not in our area, but I wanted this, 90-mile-an-hour wind to hit Chicago area is pretty remarkable. I mean, look at that line approaching Chicago right now. That's a mean bow line moving in there. Let's look at this on Analyzer. There we go. I just wanted to see, very strong winds, moving towards the Chicago area. Nothing that looks, like 90 mile an hour, but okay. We'll go back down to the south, look at this storm real quick. You can kind of see more storms trying to fire here between Evansville and Paducah too. So it's starting to get a little more active out towards the west. And I think somebody said, I'm going to go back to your questions here because I got plenty of time here. Hang on just a second. Blake is asking if the line's going to fill in south of St. Louis. Probably what's going to happen. It's trying to. This is going to move more towards Indianapolis, That's our ultimate goal is this does fill in. You do see on Analyzer that there's, you've got a couple cells here you got to watch out in front of the line. Those are going to move into central Indiana. I wonder if I can pull this up. There we go. I'm going to take all these, I'm going to take all this stuff off. We're just going to kind of look at this on a regional perspective here. Let's pull that up. There we go. All right. Let's look at this. I haven't had a few seconds here to look. So, yeah, I mean, the gap has been the concern, but, this area here is probably going to be the main show, in my opinion, as that rides up the Ohio River. And then, this may try to do something after that. But that's something I'm just continuing. It's just more of a nowcast. Future Radar has continued to show over and over and over again. This line does make it through Cincinnati later tonight. And I think that will occur. It's just how strong will that line be? And I'll say with the wind energy we have in place, it's not going to take much to cause wind damage. But our main show is now riding up into the Evansville, Paducah area as we speak. We just got to see kind of what unfolds with that. Wait and see game. What time should my teen be home before storms? He's coming home to Rising Sun from Dearborn County. Well, probably, I would say by 11, next couple of hours. Any other questions here tonight? I was just kind of watching radar trends. Wanted to come on, do a live update. Like I said, I think the main show is going to be what's coming through the Paducah area as we speak, and those individual cells as they move up the Ohio River. So, going to continue to watch it. Currently, the Tornado Watch, and I don't know if I actually went over that. Tornado Watch is in effect. This goes until 3 a.m. That's for Decatur County. Let me put that full. Decatur County, Jennings County, Scott, Jefferson County in Indiana until 3 a.m., and Trimble County in Kentucky until 3 a.m. And Kimberly, yes, that includes Columbus, Indiana. The time frame for storms, if you guys can kind of help me out on that. Actually, you know what? We'll go through Future Radar one more time. I'm going to get the new scan of Future Radar. I'm going to pull this up, Analyzer for just a second as I get the new Future Radar to pop up here. So give me just a minute. Should be 0Z, I believe. Nope, not yet. Okay. So it hasn't updated yet. But I tell you what, we'll go through it one more time. I don't want to leave you guys, some of you that are just joining, hanging on the timing on everything. So, all right, let's go through it here. Here is, okay, well, there we go. Takes just a minute to load. Here's 9 o'clock. Is that where we're at now? Yeah, it's already 9 o'clock. Good grief. All right, so 9 o'clock, watching storms to our west. That's what we're doing now. Data shows Showers kind of develop. Versailles, North Vernon, Madison. Quickly scoot off to the east by 11 o'clock, watching that storm that's near Paducah in parts of southern Indiana near Louisville. That storm rides up the Ohio River by midnight near Madison, Versailles, Rising Sun, Switzerland County. Then your focus now, too, is off towards the west, towards Greenwood, Bloomington by midnight. Then that line moves into our western counties like Connorsville, Greensburg, and you know, we didn't talk about this last time. Do you see these little notches in here, like that one and that one? Anything that kind of gets those, you get those bowing segments out front, and then you kind of get those notches along the line. That's where we can see those isolated spin-ups. But the damaging wind threat is going to be primary. It really becomes more linear. Data shows by 2 a.m. as it's moving through Cincinnati. So just to rephrase here, okay, or just to reiterate, if you're Madison, Versailles, Greensburg, Cincinnati, Walton, Owenton, you have two parts coming through. You have a first part that I think has the potential to be severe around midnight, between 11 and 1. Then you have the line, the cold front, between 1 and 3. Okay? So the threat, once again, for our area is between 11 and 1, and then 1 and 3 for most of us. One more time. All right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to look at that map. I want you to see where you live. And I'm going to play it through one more time. Okay? We ready? All right. 11 a.m. Midnight. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. 4 a.m. Okay? So, 1-2 punch along the Ohio River. If you're north and west, you only have a 1 punch. And if you're south and east, you're a 1 punch. You got 2 punches if you're along that Ohio River. Do I need to do it one more time? A like if you want to see it one more time. We'll make sure everybody's good, because I know these nighttime scenarios can sneak up on people. All right, we're good. Okay. It's a conditional threat. The line to the west. I do think things are going to fold out for these storms near Paducah. I really do. One more time. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Okay? So, that's it for now. I will continue to keep you guys posted here. Darke County, I do not cover that. I would follow Indiana Weather Online. Kimberly, I do not think we're going to see 90-mile-an-hour winds. I think there could be some 70, maybe 75, but we're going to really be pushing that. I think they're going to be more 60. Ohio County, you're a 1-2 punch. You'll see that showing on future radar as I continue to answer some of these questions. April, the tornado threat, your tornado window is going to be right around 11 and midnight. I wish I could show you helicity tracks, and I might be able to. Let me see if I can show you what I'm looking at. Oh, I got the new data. Okay. So this helps you kind of understand what I'm looking at, okay? This is going to be just a second so I can show you this. Bear with me. All right, so I'm going to zoom this in here for you guys. Just throw it over the top. So this is what we call helicity tracks. And, we've been talking about this storm down here near Paducah. And it rides up the Ohio River. And, you see a couple areas that denote here that northern Kentucky area. It doesn't mean that's actually going to happen. This doesn't mean that there's going to be a tornado happen in your area. What this means, you see these long tracks here. What that means is the data is showing a storm that's rotating, okay? And it even shows rotating storms up north too. And I think what that's doing is when I showed you future radar and those little, nudges in the line, it's kind of showing, hey, there could be a brief spin up there. But the storm that I'm going to continue to watch near Paducah, and I think it continues to kind of figure out what it's trying to do, this area right here will go from, let's say, the Owensboro area through Tell City, Corden, through Henryville, Bedford, and then go through Union, Walton, Florence, Independence area. And the data consistently shows that that's going to be the zone that sees a tornado or a rotating storm. I just want to look at what this is. This is a sounding, and it can kind of show us where the potential would be tonight, or it shows us what the atmosphere kind of looks like. And I know I'm doing this on the fly here. It looks like that there's just a quick window there of where a brief conditional tornado threat would exist. So very, very brief window for that to occur here this evening. So, okay, that's it for now. I'll continue to keep you posted. Thanks, guys, for following. Like I always said, you guys have always been very supportive through the years. I really, really appreciate it. My Venmo's down there. Anything you're willing to donate, I'd appreciate it. And I want to show you now, we're just talking about a little while ago, these storms out in front of that main line are becoming tornado warned now. So central Indiana, gotta watch it. And you can see even more individual storms trying to get going in near the Evansville area. So radar getting a little more active. I'll keep you updated here throughout the evening hours. I'll be in overnight hours too. So that's it for now.